Party people, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I am sharing a layout I made for Everyday Explorers Co. using their new alphabet. This is the Snickerdoodle font and I am a fan. I don't know how well you can see it in the reverse, but it has lots of like flourishes and there's like two different O's, there's different Y's, there's different E's. It's just a fun font to play with. And so for this layout, what I did was I stamped a large title. You've noticed this is going to be a shorter process video. I'm going to call this a shortcut because I didn't do anything terribly like technique wise on this page, but I think it'll be fun to just talk about some stamping techniques and what I've learned in my stamping journey, because I went from last year saying that I am not a stamper at all to stamping so much more often on my layout. So I'll tell you the quote that I'm stamping. It's a quote from F. Scott Fitzgerald, and it says, "There is so much spring in the air, there is so much sweetness in your heart." And I just added my, because I was documenting a photo of Joshua and I going to get some ice cream. So nothing like terribly serious. We just had an ice cream day in the middle of like the work week. And so that's the photo that I'm documenting. But like, I'll give you a few stamp tips. So one of the things that has changed my stamping game, and I don't want to say it's something that everyone needs, like don't get me wrong, but one of the things that's changed my stamping game is this Sizzix Stamper's Secret Weapon. So if you take any stamping tips from me, it is get a stamp platform. And this does not require like a major investment. Like the Sizzix Stamper Secret Weapon, I think it's like $10 on Amazon and on scrapbook.com. It has been life-changing for me. Like my stamping went from skipping and from just being generally terrible all the time to now getting like pretty reliably decent impressions. And like, don't get me wrong, again, my stamping's not perfect, and you'll see that I still make mistakes, and I still get ink everywhere, but this Stamper Secret Weapon has been life-changing. My second tip, especially if you're stamping titles like this, use the stamp block designed for the stamp that you are using. So you'll notice that I'm using a tiny 1x1 inch square for my stamping. I also sometimes use a tiny 1-inch circle acrylic block when I'm stamping alphabets. You don't want to use a block that is too big for the stamp that you're using because it's hard to get even pressure. So like here I struggled because I decided to just put my E on a different block because I kept having to pick my E up, put it down, pick my E up, put it down. So I decided to put my E on a different block, and the second I did that, I started struggling, and that's because I put it on a 2x2 block. If your stamp is too small for the block that you're putting it on, it makes it hard to get even pressure. Also, it just makes it like really uncomfortable. So do yourself a favor, if you're going to be stamping alphabets, invest in a smaller acrylic block just for stamping like small circles and stamping letters. It has been life-changing. Literally just getting smaller acrylic blocks and investing in the Stamper Secret Weapon Pad has just made my stamping journey so much better. So I think this whole title took me about 15 minutes to stamp. In the beginning, I started trying to put the whole word on an acrylic block, and I was just being lazy. I'm being perfectly honest. And it was kind of weird spacing. Like I couldn't get the letters as close to each other as I wanted. So I just decided to go and then stamp them one by one. And I just put some music on. I have a little scratch pad next to me. The other thing, another tip is if you're going to be stamping a title, write your title out. Like it's much easier to it's so easy to make mistakes when you're stamping a title if you don't have your title written, because we think we know how to spell things and then we're stamping and we don't know how to spell anything. So if you're going to be stamping a title, write your title out on a piece of scratch paper. And all I did was stamp off all of my stamps before I put it back. Now, after this video was over, I did go back and give my stamps a good cleaning with my stamp chamois, but for the sake of getting through the stamp process, stamping off the excess ink was enough, and so that's what I did. And now I am just doing the Atashi thing, which is distressing this because it was just too neat. It was just too perfect, and I was like, you know what this needs? This needs some mess. So I went in and I just used my Tim Holtz paper distressor and I distressed it, and I distressed all 4 edges. And what you might not notice, but this was a very like key decision, was I made sure I left at least an inch on all 4 sides that I did not cut into, so that when I back this on the paper that I chose to back it on, I had 4 corners to make sure that my my paper stayed the size that it was supposed to. So, oh, perfect. So you're seeing how I did it wrong. So I first started working on just the bottom corner, and I was like, I know I measured this right. This should be okay. And then I realized that I should just I made sure to leave myself 4 distinct edges. I should use the 4 distinct edges. So once I started doing it that way, you'll see that the paper that I cut was the perfect size, because I cut it to be the same size of that white cardstock before, I ruffled up my edges. And I just like how fun that is, like having that fun pattern paper. It also matches all the colors that I used of my inks. So my inks are displayed across the top. You'll see them. And of course, I will go ahead and link all the colors in the description box if you're interested. I am such a fan of the Concord and 9th inks, you guys. I mean, you guys probably know that by now because I use them in every video, but I am such a fan of the Concord and 9th inks. They're just a great dye ink. I haven't done any sort of like ink blending with them, so I don't know how they blend, but as far as just like general stamping, I am a fan of them. I love the color range. And so I decided to add a little bit of that pattern paper to the right side of my spread just to balance it out. Also, I wanted to jazz up my right side of my spread a little bit, so I pulled out a stamp set from Everyday Explorers Co. This is the summer, I think it's called like summertime or something. But it had this like this swirly banner that said "Love these lazy summer days," which was kind of perfect for what I'm documenting. So I just pulled out, sorry that you have to stare at my head for a little bit, but I pulled out the gray ink again, mushroom one more time, stamped it directly on that pattern paper. So it's just like, it's a little accent, like it's not in your face like if it was I stamped it on white, but I got to repeat that color, got to repeat that stamping. I like that it's kind of a wave shaped stamp, so it repeats the shape of that pattern paper. And then I went ahead and punched holes, and the last thing that I do is add some puffy stickers. So I have a crazy love affair with Feature Craft puffy stickers. They're my favorite puffy stickers in the game. I like that they come in a variety of shapes on a sheet. Like on this sheet I have stars, I have hearts, I have hexagons, like I have everything on one sheet. And I like that it also comes in a wide color palette. So if you're in the market for puffy stickers, Feed Your Craft is where you go. And that's it, you guys. That's this whole page. So I will leave my affiliate link to the Everyday Explorers Co. shop in the description box if you want to purchase this Snickerdoodle Alpha or any of the alphas from the release. But that's this whole page. It was really quick and easy to put together, and I love how fun that stamp title is. So please like, comment, and subscribe if you are so inclined. Let me know what you thought about this page in the comments, and I will see you at the next one. So till next time, keep it crafting, have the very best day, and I will see you around. Bye!